Okay, for the directions, that's more towards what we're doing today. So just blah, 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 solve. Probably a good idea.
We're gonna try it.
Like this is basically where, if you were in my Algebra 2 last semester, we left off. Because, ironically, snow.
I love that stuff. It's so you guys don't, yeah.
No, it's not.
There's nothing more fun than driving myself.
I know if I'm going to survive on my drive to school.
I like driving I like driving dangerously fast.
Estimate about 10 minutes.
What are we asking?
No. I don't know what you're talking about, Wills.
I don't know.
If you're not doing it, cease vocalizing. So that others can.
You should go back to it this way, so Holly doesn't keep moving her head every single time I with my head. Yeah, like I'll go like this and then well, I don't mean to like down here. And I'll go this way.
Or, since you're about 4 or 5 inches shorter, why don't you two just switch spots?
You've had like half the semester.
That's big brain right there.
Instead of switching our seats, she put a bucket between it. That's gonna feel so weird to go for then you're gonna be tomorrow I'm gonna be a fight. Oh yeah, I can see I practice
So with all this extra chatter, we're all done, right? Who says you can't have a fraction? I just pulled these numbers out of Norphus. You're probably getting a fraction.
What?
I don't like
I didn't get a fraction.
Well, so that's gonna be 5, 10, 30. 5, 10, 30, negative 4.
Just wait.
Negative 4, 14, 30, negative 4, negative 16, positive 16, and it's 14. Oh,
I got it.
cool.
You scared me so much.
I just pulled numbers out. Sometimes sometimes you go rummaging in the landfill and you find something expensive. Landfills are why I like having a tarp on the back of my truck, because then you can leave with things in the back of your truck and they don't know. They've got the anti-rummaging policies where you're not allowed to take things out of the dump once it's in the dump.
Equals trash. Why Why are they guarding the trash?
Safety precautions. So basically, so people aren't out there rummaging around through stuff, and then like cut themselves and get tetanus and fall off of piles and yeah.
I'm still finding that.
Like I've made furniture from reclaimed wood that I got out of the Bell dump.
Like what, bed frame?
Baller.
Bed frames, bookcases, old cabinets are usually made out of solid stuff like oak. Run it through a planer, comes out just gorgeous.
Yeah, you know, maybe I want to keep my non-Pop-Tart eating streak, yes, of 17 years.
Do it.
Why you are the way you are.
You've never had a Pop-Tart?
Do it.
Don't get one.
Okay, no. Your first Pop Tart can't be an untoasted one.
That's true.
But he's not gonna toast it on his own.
I'm not gonna,
He's not gonna do it on his own.
throw it in the microwave.
No!
Okay, so now I assume we're done. 81 and 243 are both powers of 3. 256 and 1024, while they are powers of 2, in this case are powers of 4. So rewrite that as 4/3 to the what? Well, it depends if you're going to say 4/3 or 3/4, right? This one, if I start with this as a default, I will say 4/3. No. And this one, if I wanted it to be 4/3 as well, then I would need the negative to flip it, and it is to the 5th power. Alternatively, you could have had 3/4 to the -4 and 3/4 to the 5th. Okay? They're going to do the same thing. So whichever way you did it, it just changes the signs of this entire equation. So you do that, and now that they're in the same base, we have the one-to-one property of exponents that says if I take a log base 4/3 of both sides, all that business is going to cancel out, and I'm just going to get my exponents. So 4x minus 16 is negative 10x minus 30. Add 10x. Add 16. Huh. Go figure. I even changed the problem too. So, yay, we get pretty answer. Now this is but ugly in terms of the problem and exponents and fractions and all of that. If I got answer, remember that to check that answer, you can do something as simple as in your calculator, this, and just use your answer button there. And what should it say? 0. Okay? Because if I take left side minus right side and they are the same, thing minus same thing should be 0. That is the additive inverse property. So, depending how you set yours up, we're just going to go Likert this time. You got it. You got the work to back it up. Yay, you're awesome. You made a tiny little error, itty bitty, like missed the negative on this side. You did something dumb like maybe you did Could you have done 2/3 and 2/3? Why not? Okay, you would be taking one of the numerator or denominator to twice the power of the other one. And okay, let's say you did that, but just wrote 2's there instead of 4's. Like you understood it was 4 and 5, but then just brain farted. Well, that sucked. I tried to do something with exponents. I'm nowhere near 4/3. I completely forgot a negative. I tried something besides just writing the problem. I didn't even do that. Okay. So, we'll go Likert on that. And then the assignments for those who are doing them. So far, again, I've just had the, 1 or 2 questions. They're usually just double checking something. Like, did I take this expansion far enough? Or is it legal to move this exponent down here? Little stuff like that, but for the most part, the extra practice seems to be going good. Again, I said this at the beginning of the semester, I just don't think we should have homework at all, like personally. I think you should come to school, do school stuff, go home, live life. But I don't make the rules. I tried doing no homework or homework optional last semester, and I saw a 10% drop in performance across the board. Okay? Like kids just said, oh, optional, cool, I'm not going to do it. And that little bit of decrease in independent practice, it affected kids. So I'm going to have that independent practice. It's not worth much. I'm not going to do much. You've seen so far, what, 3 problems to 6 problems tops? I'm not going to do a lot, but I do ask that you get some sort of extra practice where someone ain't holding your hand through it. Okay? Big difference between I can watch someone play a guitar versus I can play a guitar. We got through, we did the definition of logs. We did all of these, right? Yeah. Because we were double checking about whether, oh yeah, this one ended up as 1 over 50,000. If you're going to write the decimal, you better have that big long decimal train. It was like 0.000000002. You better write the entire decimal train because it was terminating. And this one we ended up with plus or minus radical, what's that, 3, 4, 5, 82. Is it legal to put in a negative root of 82 in there?
Oh, yeah.
Every morning. Because I'll square it, I'll still have a positive object of the log, so it's okay. All right, so that's where we left off. We'll just finish 3-4 today. Stop that. Okay. Now we had that one-to-one property for logs that said if I have log base b of thing equals log base b of other thing, those two better be equal. I can't do that if there's too many logs. So I can condense the left or right-hand side. Easy peasy. We call that log base 4 of x and log base 4 of y. Okay. It's a 3 times an x minus 2 in there. You cool if I just distribute it now? And now I have that one-to-one property that says if it's log base 4 of thing equals log base 4 of thing, then bye-bye. That was really interesting cancellation. X is 3x minus 6, so negative 2x is negative 6, so x is 3. Check it. Oh boy, you better check it. Remember, you got logs in your original equation now. Thou shall not log of a non-positive. Because there is a commandment of domain, because there's one of those domain things with logarithms, I better check that this is legal. And if I put a 3 here and a 3 here, well, this is legal, that's legal. 3 minus 2 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Log base 4 of 3 is log base 4 of 3. Yay, I win. Okay, yes ma'am.
What if that had been an x minus 4?
If that had been an x minus 4 and I ended up with 3 as my answer, 3 minus 4 is negative 1, illegal answer, no solution. Okay, so we can end up with extraneous solutions, and if all of our solutions are extraneous, then just no. Funny you should say that, because now we got quadratics in there, which means we might have multiple answers, we might have different signs. Got to check it. Thankfully, this is already log base thing of A equals log base thing of B. I can just set them equal. Subtract 3. Square root. Check. And just like the one we ended up on yesterday, because it says x squared, I'm legal. It's good. Okay. Because negative 7 squared is still positive 49. So both would work. Both of them are going to get log base 3 of 53. 52. I didn't write it. If we're going to start counting everything that comes out of a person's mouth as points on a board.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Go ahead, get them. A and B. I'm in danger. Again, be careful about your exponents. Be careful about where you distribute, all that business.
I don't know. Like, this one's like this one's like this. Right?
Yeah. This one, they're already one object, one object.
Oh, it's
So just
like
this equals that.
stuff.
These two you'd have to combine before you can do that. Okay, left side's already at 1 to 1. Solve the quadratic. Right side, you got to combine the x and the 4. Remember, it's a sum, so I multiply them. It is possible you have the quotient instead. Are these legal answers? Okay, if I put 1s and 2s in there, first you got to make sure if it's even legal to put them in. But then you got to make sure that it actually balances the equation. It might be legal to put them into the logarithms, but then at the end of the problem, you end up with something like 5 equals -5. Okay, we saw that a lot with our radicals and our absolute value equations. So again, I can plug them in and chug through the math, or I can hit answer, dump it in my calculator, whatever the jam is. 244 minus 22250. 4 minus 2 plus 2 is 4. Yeah, same thing. 514, 754. I got them both working, or all 3 of them working. Okay. So far everything we've been doing, this is all algebra 2. Okay. How do we feel about it? Okay, so if we're good, then I was told that the new curriculum doesn't have this stuff in it. I was told this by other classes, or last semester, because those kids had, what was it? They had Spear last year, second semester when he was doing the pilot of this curriculum. And they had told me that this stuff specifically wasn't in the new curriculum. And I know that my kids, we just didn't get to this. So this might be new for all, question mark. If you had Algebra 2 more than a year ago, then you probably saw this. In the green book, then you probably didn't see this. So the only way to get a x out of exponent town is using logarithms. What happens when they're not the same base?
You make them the same base.
You go ahead and make 4 and 13 the same base.
You just put in log multiply like on the log base. Yeah, it's for 13 equals x.
But then don't I have a log base on the other side? And in the ancient times, we would have to use a change of base formula on it. So yes, that is something that works. I want to come back to that because they're the same answer. Okay? You log both sides. If I log a 4 to the x and you log a 13, this is where I think the new textbook left off. It didn't have the next exponential thing that I'm going to do. Yeah, it had this, but it didn't have that. I think the purple book had white. It didn't have white and blue. So I think that was the difference. Okay, so if you have 2 separate objects, you can log both objects. You can choose whatever base you want. Okay, if I log both sides right now, this x is an exponent. Now that it's a log, it can come out front. If I have x times thing, how do I get just x? I divide. So I get, if I divide both sides by log of 4, that's my answer. Log of 13 over log of 4. Now be careful, you cannot combine that into log of 13/4. A difference of logs can become a log of one object. Yes, ma'am?
Why can't you just do 4
Okay. Option 2. Remember that I can choose whatever base I want, right? So if I can choose whatever base I want, what if I went with log base 4? Because then that's just Canceltown. X is log base 4 of 13. Isn't that just the change of base formula version of that? They're the same answer.
But do you want us to write it one way or another?
I take both. This is the privilege of technology. This, 15 years ago, you wouldn't be able to do that. You would write this. Now, either one's cool. I mean, they're both the same answer. They are both a correct definition of the answer. It's just you wouldn't have been able to type that into a calculator unless you paid $200 for it. Now, you can pay, like, instead of doing this, you can just pay like 10 bucks at Walmart and do this. So we're good, okay? So I'm just letting you know they are both correct. I will take either one of them. What I don't want anyone doing, what you absolutely cannot have, is log of 13/4. Okay, that is not the same thing. Okay, that's like squaring like a freshman. Okay, you just broke math law. Stop that. Oh, remember you can choose the base. Or other way, 13. The book likes doing it with natural log. So they're probably going to say ln of 13 over ln of 4. Okay? So just let you know, all of that stuff is true. All three of these are the same value. They're just written differently. Okay? It's like zeros are x-intercepts are solutions. They're all the same object, you're just talking about it differently. Okay. This guy. Now sometimes, if I'm going to use log on both sides to solve an equation, sometimes it just tells me, hey, you should probably use a particular kind of log because it makes it easier. Like, I start using common log and y'all are like, why aren't you using log base 4? Well, if I see a base E, what should I probably use? Okay. So I'm going to use the natural log of this and the natural log of this. Now this is an exponent, it comes out front. So I've got 4 minus 3x times Lenny is the ln of 6. But what is Lenny? Okay, the ln of e is just 1. Right? Oh. Now, x isn't by itself yet. You still have to create the expression. I have to subtract 4. I have to divide by negative 3. Which means you can write this several different ways. I can say x is negative 1/3 ln of 6 plus 4/3. I could leave it like this. It's considered kind of improper to leave a negative downstairs, so maybe I say that's 4 minus the ln of 6 over 3. Change all my signs. That works too. I could also bring that up into exponent town and now say that that's, well, because it'd be 6 to the negative 1/3 then that's over 6 to the 1/3. Now you got radicals, and it's going to start getting nasty, but there are different ways to write it. You know what I'm saying? Like ln of 6 to the negative 1/3. Now it's the ln of 1 over 3rd root of 6. Now you have to rationalize it, so it's the ln of 3rd root of 36 over 6. But you could keep going with it that way. Y'all cool with just leaving it like this?
Yes.
Okay. How many of you saw on any of your tests that you got back? Bad. Means I'll take it, but I ain't happy about it. You can leave the negative down there. It makes me feel icky. But yeah, you can do that. Okay, so you choose what log you're going to use. But you do have to log both sides in order to solve these. If you want to use a log of a particular base, you go for it. You can use common log, natural log, or log of your chosen base. Where is it? I hear everything. It's just whether I want to deal with it or not.
Just do it like that. Just put it in melted form. Right? Take log
I mean, yeah,
of
but
that equals that.
yeah,
Okay.
if you take log of both sides, you get that, which is also the definition of that.
Okay.
Both.
Oh, you got me chuckling there. You are so silly. Yes. Sweet cheeks. Get out of here, Brandon. Smack.
It's like such silence.
Oh, that's why you could hear it. Somebody else was talking. I thought some more people were talking.
Bring me back.
When they get to X amount of points, they have to bring in food
Yeah, I've already brought it.
We already done it once.
as ransom for making the room collectively facepalm.
So we're coming in hot on the next one. It's been like, what? It's been 5 days and we've already got 4 points.
So right here you have.
So if there's no negative on the bottom, we can just stop right here.
Yeah. Isn't that 1/8? Yeah. No.
I know you like don't eat a lot of food in the morning.
No.
Drink a lot of coffee.
Oh, not even close. Okay.
I'm good at that feeling right now.
You're gonna die at 30 from all the coffee.
This is like milligrams 350. That happens a lot. I'm definitely into should I go get I'm supposed to hot dogs?
I'm with you.
I'm scared, Sonic.
What's your name?
I want you to hold my hand.
Let's go. I'm getting one of those.
Get me one. Really?
Okay. There's different routes to take there, but okay, we'll start there. In order to use my logs on both sides or the definition of logs, I need to subtract this first. So 5.38. Then log both sides. I'll have log of 1.43. I'll have log of 5.38. My A comes down as coefficient. I divide by log of 1.43. Okay, so you have to isolate. It has to be one object and one object, one term, one term. First one, okay, y'all see how I can just log, divide. The other part of that is I can use the definition. Remember that it's log of this base. This is asking 8 to what power equals this number. Ah, that's a 6. So by definition, I can just rewrite this like that. That's my change of base formula. Which means you could have also just done log base 8 of both sides and gotten this. Okay? Different routes, they all get to the same place. Either one of those. That guy, I would need to start with the ln of both sides, so I'd get the ln of 12, ln of e, cancel town, getting 2 plus 5w. You got to make sure to subtract and divide to get here. Again, you can write that as 1/5 ln 12 minus 2/5. Same difference. You could turn that into the 5th root of 12 if you really wanted to. What I'm going to recommend, how many of us might see that ln of 12 minus 2 and accidentally think, oh, 12 minus 2 is 10, and then write ln of 10? Okay. There's nothing wrong with putting the parentheses there to make sure that you don't do that. Especially if your handwriting isn't the best. Okay? So, all right, so that's where I believe Purple Book left off in Algebra 2. Then, Rutrow, Raggy, They can't be written in the same base, and there's exponents everywhere. This is also why I just used the take the log of both sides option on the previous problems, is because doing log base 4 here only cancels out one side. Now you got a log base 4 to deal with on the other side. Doing log base 3, same thing, different side. So, step 1, log both sides. Now that I have logged both sides, my exponents can come down as coefficients. So we're at 3x minus 1 as a coefficient of log 4. We're at 2 minus x as a coefficient of log 3. If I divide by log 4 on this side and log 4 on this side, now I just got a log 4 on denominator. Now you're dealing with fractions that have logs as denominators. Okay. Now, yes. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be solved no different than this. Okay. It's going to be solved the exact same way. You would distribute x's to one side, not x's to the other side, divide, right? Like that's how we've been doing this since middle school. It's just the numbers are going to be ugly because they're going to be expressions of log. So I disturb it. Remember that multiplication is commutative. If I say no, because this is the object of the log. So this is a 3x times a log 4. Do you see how that could start to get a little confuzzling? Because we might think that just means 3 times log 4? Is that just 3 log 4? Or if I write the x out front and I'm not using parentheses because that's how the book does it, then you would write 3 log 4 times x. Is that 3 log 4 times x, or is that 3 log 4x? Don't go up to exponent town. And honestly, if you do, you're just going to end up recombining them and getting back here. So the way that I like to write them so I avoid all that confusion, if I have a 3 times an x times a log of 4, I personally write it as 3 log 4 x's. I make sure I know that this whole number is a coefficient in front of x. You can. I disturb it here, getting 2 log 3's minus a log 3 x. That is the exact same as if you had said 3x log 4 minus log 4 is 2 log 3 minus x log 3. These are the exact same thing. It's just, in my experience, if we leave it like this, the next step is going to feel weird. Okay? Well, the next step, right now, this is no different than what would you do to that? You'd get your x's on one side, your not x's on the other, right? You can do the same thing here. When I add this over here, when I add log 3 x's. These aren't like terms, right? I can't smash that together and say it's like 4 log 12 now or something dumb like that. But what if I said ax plus bx? Isn't that a plus b x's? Right? You can think of it two ways. It's a plus b x's is literally a plus b x's, or factor out the x. Remember we did this with rational equations like a month and a half ago and it broke everyone's brain? Okay. When I combine these, hold on, plus log 3 x's. I'm also going to want my constants to the other side, so I'm going to add, nope, not 3. There we go. Okay. That zeroes out, we know that. I'm just going to write this as 3 log 4 plus log 3 x's. Do you see where if I left that as 3x log 4, now this would get kind of funky? Okay. Equals 2 log 3 plus log 4. The reason I want to have that out front, whether I'm factoring out an x or whether I'm saying I have this plus this many x's, isn't it now just something times x? How do I get rid of it? I divide. So my answer, well, the first version 1.0 of my answer is x is 2 log 3 plus log 4 all over 3 log 4 plus log 3. That is too much.
Simplify it.
Because we have properties that say I can clean this up. This is the sum of logs. What do I do with the sum of logs? Log of product. So I'm going to bring him up here. 3 squared is 9. And now it's log of 9 plus log of 4, which I can write as log of 36. Over. Bring him upstairs. 4 to the third is? Cries inside. 64. 64 by 3 is?
192.
And because we're getting such a redonkulous answer here, maybe give me the decimal approximation next to it. Remember, those are separate log objects. I cannot reduce the 36 over 192.
So the thing where like the dividing of logs and then like the division goes into the subtraction, that's when it's like log of like number over number, right?
Log of a quotient becomes difference.
If you have multiple logs, you can't do that.
Correct. Now, just to confirm, we're going to write that out and say, oh, remember that we could have chosen whatever base we wanted? So what if I said 2 ln 3 plus ln4 that would be log base 192 of 36, yes. Uh-huh. And this is where kids usually get mad at me because I start saying, and you can write it like this, and you can write it like this, and you can write it like this. Because, yes. 3 ln4 plus ln3, if I do it with these logs instead, same business. And just to confirm, if I said, what was it, log of 36 over log of 192? Okay. Now, go all the way back to the beginning, and my equation. Oh, remember, we ignore their directions. We're always going to go 3 places, but I want the expression instead. What if I check this, and I have the answer? I check it by saying 4 to the 3 times my answer minus 1. Subtract the right-hand side, 3 to the 2 minus my answer. And because that is my most recent answer, it keeps the calculation in the memory. I should get 0. Whereas if I rounded it off, especially to the hundredths, I would not get 0. I'd get close, but I wouldn't get 0. Which is also why I grumble when a particular teacher rounds in every step of their work. So, decent guy. Stop rounding in your work. Do we need to see it again, or can we try it?
I think we should try it.
Okay. Okay, we'll do one at a time then. Start with 5A. $16, $12, $12.60, $12.96. Right? 216, 6, 1200, 1200, 60, 1236, 1296 over log 6 squared 36, 36, 5 is 180. How far back you going?
Just to the beginning of today's class. I clicked on your knife and then it got me here.
Strange. Yeah, it says we going. If you just go to anything on my channel and click on the live link instead of the video, that should go there. But then it would just join right now. So it's not going to have a video until we're done streaming, then it turns into a VOD. So if you click the live thing right now, it'll just tell you right now. Okay, I did mental math before lunch. Check me before I wreck me. Why is this on tiny? Are we at least getting to definition plus distribution? Okay, so the reason this is like mental math fast, I don't see all this number junk. I see AX plus B equals CX plus D. Subtract, subtract, divide. It's more about just moving those things into those spots. Okay. You do it enough times, you'll get there. If I add log 5 x's over here, I'll have 2 log 6 plus log 5 x's. If I subtract 4 log 6 this way, we'll have log 5 minus 4 log 6's. And then we divide. And yes, by change of base formula, you could also write this as log base 180 of 5 over 11296. Which, now that I think about it, is probably the cleanest way to write it.
Like it's easier when you're calculating.
Yep.
But is there a way that you can like solve it to like just make it look like that without fractions?
Make it look like that without fractions.
Without doing all that. Without doing the change. Let's just get log base 1 equals that.
I mean, not that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. With math, there's a lot of things that are possible. You can get to Deadwood by route of Nebraska. So.
Is that more math or geography? I think that's math.
Try again. I want to practice with it because I know this is new for most of us. Yeah. Yeah, that was Holly's question, is could I just use change-based formula to write it like that? And I actually like that because that's the cleanest way to write it. What I'm saying is I would take either the smashed together version or the change of base version.
They make me chuckle every time. I'd be chuckling every time.
Or 16.6. So 16 and 6, 60, 36, 1 over. For the third, 64 over 36. By 4 is 16 ninths. I did mental math before lunch. Check me before I wreck me. I'm starting to wonder if Kate asked me to get rid of the question mark so that there was a potential brownie point. Because that would be sly.
That's the map. Swipe or no swipe? The foreign power of the United Kingdom is going to attack one of your colonies.
Is that right? Sweet.
I'm not a fast math person. I'm a slow one.
Because they're both negative, they'll both end up on denominator. Both 4 to the second and 6.
like off the same.
Here. Let's,
So I got 9 over 16 and 16 over 9. I got the same. So let me do I have to do LN? I do log. So I got
it's the same thing.
Oh, but
That's
yeah,
why I'm showing you.
it's just the same thing because you had a negative, so they're flipped. Yeah, so I have 9 log of 96 and then log of 9 over 16. I have this side. So what did I do?
I think you divided left side by right side instead.
What did you get? Because I added the log of 6 to that side.
Yeah, I got the same thing you got. So,
Wait. I did that.
Oh, I just missed my X here. Hold up. There we go. No. No, I moved that over there.
Yeah, what did I do? I didn't like it.
Where we at?
So I added this to this side so it
And
wouldn't
then we
be negative on
subtracted
the
that
side.
one.
But you added this over?
Yeah.
To that
That's not an
that.
X. Oh, you
And
okay?
then we
And then
subtracted
that one to that side. So you get that.
Oh yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying. So if I were to multiply this entire thing by -1 over -1, I would have ln of 6 plus 2 ln of 4 over 2 ln of 6 minus 3 ln of 4. And then rearrange that one, so now it's 96 over ln of 36 over 64, which is 9/16. Yeah. Yeah. Well, try them. Like, if I had this, but you had log of 9, base 9/16 of 96, those should be the same thing. Oh, that's just a different way to write it. Yeah. Which is probably why the new curriculum doesn't do this. Like, once you kind of look past all of the log garbage, do you see that it's ax plus b equals cx plus d? And then it's just moving them around and then use log properties to simplify your answer. Yeah. It looks nasty, you just need to get to know them.
White or yellow, correct?
Both. What they had gone to the opposite side with x's, so their entire thing just got negated. And negation in exponents means reciprocal, so it should be the same thing. Cool. That sounds like we might be a little bit fuzzy there.
So you go to the original problem and you subtract them.
Uh-huh.
It's like that for x equals 0, right?
Yeah.
I think we do.
Ruh-roh.
Romania is rebelling.
Because I used that answer.
This is scientific. Yeah. Okay. So, do we need another one of those then? Because that sounds like we're a little sketchy. Yay, nay? 10. So we're going to come back and do example 6, but go forward a slide and do number 10. We'll do it again. More practice. Yep.
We don't need to like do any other slides. Like use the whole space. Yeah.
I don't know about the whole space because we might need to do some. Oh yeah, we're going to need to do that.
Are we gonna use it up here?
Yeah.
Just do it
Just
right
leave room for at least one other problem. L6, 2, L6. So it's going to be 36, 36, 4, 120, 144. Of -3, 3 log 6, 6 1/3, 6 1/2, 216. 216, 2 log 4, 2 log 4, 4 squared is 16, 16 to 2. So 12, 1296 with 1200, 1396 question mark? Well, I'm trying to go all the way to the end product now. So what's that? Log base, or 1 over 1396. Enter 5, 4 to the answer plus 2 minus 6 to the -2 answer minus 3. Nope. So what was that? That's 5, 216. 216 times 16. Oh, it's. Oh, I missed a place value on that. That's 3456. There you go. Yep. Yes.
Okay, so I got the last time I put it in like this, and they were just right, like the exact same.
Yeah.
But then, how do I get it like without the thing? Do I just put 1?
Wait. Log. Wait. Huh? I don't have an object to log. Where'd that go? You got just log. Like log of nothing. There,
Oh, so it's log of 6.
okay.
I just like put
Okay.
Okay.
Like, where'd it go?
Okay, I was like really confused because I didn't know. Never mind. That's just positive, right? I did get 144.
Correct.
hell.
I got 105.76.
I got that, and it worked. Remember, there's different ways to write it.
Because this is gonna be 144, and it's like
1 over 144, right? And then I have that.
It'd be really
Yeah.
cool if I could like take
What did I do wrong? I just
Yeah.
don't like how you have it the other way, so it just confuses me.
Well,
No, you can't take over states.
you can't just bash on lefties because they're doing it different.
That's my mother all the time. So it's just like that.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
getting
I saw you guys
1.575.
Yeah, I got Australia as
That's
well.
my. When I do the math there, I get that. So what did I? How did I do something?
Yeah, I got what you got. Although shouldn't the white one be the same number as the yellow?
No, the white was mental math.
Oh.
I missed a place value. The yellow is correct. When I was trying to do 216 by 16 in my head, I missed a place value for my one.
So good.
Well, you got the exact same thing. Hold on. So, whoa,
Right there.
log 4x, okay. Add 2 log 6, yes. 5 negative 2 log 6. Add, subtract 2 log 4. Okay, 6 negative second. 5. Yeah, because 36 by 4 is 144.
But that top one is 1 over 576.
You missed a 3 somewhere. 3 log 6.
Where?
3 log 6.
What?
You wrote the problem down wrong. That's a 3.
That is so unfortunate.
Because when I did it, I got two different things. I don't know. Because then I thought maybe I messed up putting it in.
Negative 2 minus 3, 5, 4 to the thing plus 2. Okay. Negative 3 log 6. You're going to have to subtract the 2 log 4 over. Right here.
Oh, so it's a -2, not
So when you bring it over,
yeah,
it'll be
it's
minus.
Okay.
And the only errors that I'm seeing is, what the?
I don't know why it's. And I went to the tech office to get my original computer, but the Wi-Fi is still not working.
Okay, so
Today's not my day.
it's just blocking my site. Oh, .weebly.com. Yeah, I'm using, instead of doing .weebly, putting the Weebly next to the name is actually a bot creation site that does phishing. All right. Let's not. Okay, that's good. Screw the British. Okay. So log both sides, ln, log, whatever your jam is. No? No one? Okay. I disturb it, and I'll get log 4 x's plus 2 log 4 is disturbed a negative 2 log 6 x's minus 3 log 6 when you know what? We're going to make Maddie happy here. I'm going to move this over to the right side.
They're both negatives. Why did you have to add one or the other?
I'm going to bring it over to the other side. You said you don't like the way that I do it, so I'm going to bring this one over here. Getting negative 2 log 6 minus log 4 x's. And I'm going to add that one over here. Getting 2 log 4 plus 3 log 6. and then I'll divide.
All my weekend plans got canceled, and I can just sleep all weekend. So I'm happy. That was the happiest I've ever
You are too young to be that excited for sleep. That means you're doing too much stuff.
She has been at the soccer team every weekend.
Yeah, I know. I talked to your dad, and I think everything you're doing is unhealthy. You need to take care of yourself. Okay.
Basketball. Yeah, I go to basketball.
You were in both? What's wrong with you? You a masochist?
Yes.
Holy smokes, kid. This one? Go, CC. I'm doing that test thing. Okay. So,
Your thingy is still like hating me.
I don't know what to tell you, kid. It works every other time.
I'll just wait.
Okay. So, a little bit better, hopefully. Okay. Before I move to the next thing, side quest solve.
Quadratic formula.
That ain't a quadratic.
Can you do it like under the problem?
Somewhere. It is not.
It's not prime. It's not.
Wait, isn't it?
3 and 17, which is 4. I know, I love it.
Is that it?
And then,
Well, what's the difference? That you.
That's my look at it. Funny enough. Why aren't you
okay, I think that we beat polynomials up enough that we were okay with polynomials just factoring it like a quadratic, but remembering that it was x squared. Do you remember the U substitution method? Okay, I glossed over it in here, or A, or whatever they used. Okay. Uh-huh. Sometimes, if something is in quadratic form, it might kind of hurt your brain to work with it in its current form. So you replace whatever that middle term is with some other variable, solve the way you know how to, and then plug back in to finish it off. The reason I bring that up, next example, I told you not to.
I just did. You did not use that box. The one above it.
Okay. Would you be able to factor this quadratic? You don't have to. If you understand that this is in quadratic form, you can factor it as e to the x plus 8 and e to the x minus 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now do you see why we want the U method?
Yeah, but you gotta explain.
Okay.
Put that in my head when you first.
Instead, I'll tell you, tune in next time.
Next class.
Well, yeah, bell's gonna go ding. I'm not gonna start a new example. Okay, y'all, couple of items. A, please be careful leaving the school today. Like, give it another 10, 15 minutes, let all the idiots leave, and then go. Okay? So just, y'all, drive safe, don't do anything dumb. But that too. 2, we don't know what's happening on Monday and Tuesday. So just,
Gets today off, and then their spring break is the 3rd through the 10th. So they don't have any
Okay.
school till honestly, I wish they could have just done that. They made like Easter combined with spring break. That's nice. That's nice. A way longer. They have like a whole week.
but they're not going to get rid of Easter in a conservative Christian district.
Well, you don't get rid of Easter. It just makes it a longer break.
So,
I mean, I would.